You are live. All right, I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Liberty Union-Thurston Board of Education held Monday, April 11th, 2022 in the Liberty Union boardroom. Let's do call to order. Roll call, Ms. Boyd.
Ms. Cato? Here. Mr. Hookrattle?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Shook?
Here.
Dr. Warner?
Here. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I believe Mr. Alfred's here to present our Students of the Month.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to start off with Caleb Brittle. Caleb Brittle wasn't able to be here tonight. They traveled to New York over spring break, so I just want to highlight some of the things that Caleb Brittle's done to earn this honor here. So Caleb was nominated for Student of the Month by multiple staff members in the high school. He's a member of the student leadership team and holds the title of president. He's a member of the National Honor Society and currently holds a 4.3 GPA and will graduate with summa cum laude honors. He has been actively involved in many activities outside of school, but most impressively with his work with carbon collection. Caleb has worked with the Trump and the Biden administrations regarding environmental policies in the matter of carbon collection and owns his own LLC called Carbononics. So he's been working with the presidential administrations on carbon collection since his 8th grade year in science fair, and so he's he's going places, and he wanted to be recognized by some of the staff members at the building for his leadership within the building, his willingness to always jump in and just help where needed, and he's just an all-around kind of kid. He's actively involved in multiple sports, and he manages to manage his time and still get a 4.3, so that's pretty impressive. So, but Caleb couldn't be here today. Our second Student of the Month was nominated by a staff member also for her always willingness to go out of the way and caring about other students. That was the conversation I had with one of the staff members, was like, she's always caring about other students and things like that. So I'm going to read a little bit about Jordy Moore. Jordy is an honor roll student at Liberty Union High School. She participates in service learning at the elementary school and is a member of yearbook, is on the prom committee. She has played school volleyball as well as club. Jordan volunteers at church, collecting and creating food bags for those in need, and in the after-school programs here at the elementary with Mrs. Williamson. She wants to continue her love of teaching by attending Capital University and majoring in early childhood education. Something else to add to that little blurb there is that you can't walk around Liberty Union and see Jordy and she doesn't always have a smile on her face. You walk around her, she's always got that beaming smile, and it really just brightens up your day when she walks down the hallway and she gives you that look, and then that little smile bursts out, and it just makes you have a better day when you see that. So I'd like to call Jordy up and present her with Student of the Month for April.
I'll let the Vice President.
That's all right. He's going to present it. And we're going to get a picture. It's all right.
She got her wisdom teeth pulled out, so she doesn't want to smile.
I don't know how to smile.
That's all right.
Where that smile is talking about.
This is so bad if I like that.
No, you're good.
You're good.
You're so beautiful anyway. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, next on the agenda is the presentation of a check from the Rotary Club of Baltimore, Ohio. And I believe we have one of our distinguished graduates, class of 72. 79.
Superintendent Johnson, Liberty Union-Thurston School Board, staff, and community members on Bob Kalish, past Rotary President of the Baltimore, Ohio Rotary. 20 years ago, in April of 2002, Baltimore community members formed committees and then chartered a Baltimore Rotary Club. The Rotary Club is composed of business and community members and residents to make the world and Baltimore a better place in which to live. Some of the Rotary International projects include to help to end polio, provide safe drinking water to communities, and support education. Locally, the Baltimore Rotary Club from 2002 through 2019 supported over $60,000 in donations to local community projects. Last year, we were forced in the reality that we no longer had community supportive membership due to lack of members, and we had to officially dissolve our club on New Year's Eve, 12/31/2021, 19 years. Tonight, I highlight the partnership that the Baltimore Rotary Club had with the Liberty Union-Thurston School District for this last 19 years. School supply drive in 2021, the Baltimore Rotary Club sponsored a high school Rotary called in the high school called the Interact Club that Trudy Reeve helped be a facilitator and counselor with, where high school students can become involved in their local community through community service. Rotary supported RILA, which was a Rotary Youth Leadership Program. We helped to send 3 students to Ohio University for training, leadership training. We sponsored a speech class. We sponsored Students of the Month to talk on their feet. And sometimes we went weekly, they were there weekly, sometimes they were there monthly. We sponsored 2 scholarships for Liberty Union High School students. Our final donations are as follows from the Baltimore, Ohio Rotary. The Baltimore Rotary donated $1,500 to Ryan's Raid to Save that promotes Fairfield County Science Suicide Program, SOS program, that will help Liberty Union-Thurston school students in school districts across greater Fairfield County. And that was from, unfortunately, the timing of Ryan Reeve, Trudy Reeve's son's passing. $500 each to the Baltimore Festival, the Baltimore Food Pantry, the Baltimore Museum, the Good Neighbors in the Village, over $333 to the Baltimore VFW, and $333 to the American Red Cross. And $813.50 from the Interact Club, from the high school club of the Baltimore Rotary, to the Liberty Union-Thurston School District. We wanted to make sure that we were transparent when we left the community than we began our community. Rivers can float around, and we didn't, and Dr. Johnson and Superintendent Johnson was a strong advocate for him. Superintendent Paul Matthews was a strong advocate, and we believed that, I believe it is vital that we're transparent how we provide funding at the end of Rotary if community members will ever decide in the future that they needed to start a Rotary Club in the future in the greatest community that we call Baltimore OHIO. Thank you for your service to the Liberty Union-Thurston School District board members and community members. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Kalish. I know this community means the world to you. I know that the Rotary was near and dear.
And I was a star athlete too. No, it wasn't.
But no, we appreciate the donation and know how much the school district and the community means to you.
But thank you for your service.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. F is public participation at board meetings. Anybody here wish to speak in front of the board? Nope. Okay. G is refreshments. So at this time, we'll take about a 5 or so minute break, grab some refreshments, and then get back at it. He's like he's like
I had a girl thought I was shooting on pictures.
April, were you there earlier?
I said, man, I'm gonna talk to her.
I said,
No, but I
Yeah.
saw.
In there too. Okay. All right. All right, we are back from Apple Crisp, which was delicious for those of you that are attending via the World Wide Web. You might want to make an in-person visit next time, but thank you for that. So we will move on to department presentation, and we have Jan Frederick to give an update on our food service department.
Thanks. So I want to start out with just reiterating the fact that normally we operate on the National School Lunch Program. So this year, the USDA has allowed us to operate under the SSO, which is the Seamless Summer Option, reimburses us at all students at the free rate and a higher rate. So normally we would get reimbursed at a rate of approximately $3.66 for a lunch and $2.35 for a breakfast. So this year, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Normally, it would have been $3.66 for a lunch and $2.35 for a breakfast. So on this higher rate, every student that comes through, we got $4.56 for a lunch and $2.35 for, I got these numbers all wrong. Let me get it right here. $4.56 for a lunch and $2.61 for a breakfast, which has brought us in a considerable amount of money. So we've already been told that that's probably not going to happen. USDA has already talked that maybe. Now, last year, we also got the same word that it was going to stop. And then, so we did the National School Lunch Program in August and half of September, and then mid-September, we switched back over. So we're just waiting for them to give us the go-ahead. But I talked to my state consultant again today. She said she doesn't think it's going to happen. They're ready to go back to the National School Lunch Program. There is a program out there called Community Eligibility Provision. We don't qualify for that, but if anybody ever asks you about that, it's a program that all students get free meals. Doesn't have to be anything that's been approved due to COVID, but it has to be, it's based on your direct cert, which is, it all ties together. So 3 times a year I do a direct cert verification. I upload Liberty Union roster, I send that to ODE, they match it to Ohio Jobs and Family Services for Fairfield County. That spits me out a list of about 285 kids. Those kids are automatically free and reduced. From that list, if you are at a high enough percentage of only the students qualified in that manner, then you can qualify for the CEP program, which allows more of your students, a 1.6% more of those students, to get the free meals. But then all of your other kids have to get the 35-cent rate, additional money. So if you're not at least a 40 to 50% free and reduced rate, it doesn't benefit you to qualify or to try to qualify for the CEP. So we have not done that ever, and I checked on that again today, and it's not anything that we're going to qualify for. But the direct cert is a requirement 3 times a year. We automatically pick up kids. I did it again April 1st and picked up 55 kids. I sent that message to Angie.
Jan, remind me, is that by district or is that by building?
It is what?
The percentages, is that by the whole district?
The one, yeah, the percentage I'm talking about is the district-wide.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So we talked about CEP and direct cert. And then I want to talk about our commodity allocation. So that is based on the money that we get from for commodity dollars, extra money that the government allows us to buy foods with or gives us a discount off of some of our processors. That's based on a type A lunch and how many we served last year. And it's reimbursed at a rate of 23.75 cents per meal. So they will go back and look at the number of meals that I served last year, multiply that by the 23.75 cents. That's how much commodity money I will have for next year. This year we had $52,000. So it's a considerable amount of money. This is another reason why we, in my district, we don't offer anything a la carte unless you've purchased a type A lunch. Because we need type A lunches sold so that we can get our commodity reimbursement and our commodity allocation. So you can buy a la carte, but you first have to buy a type A lunch with us. Another way we bring in some extra money is we are GFS exclusive, which means I'm not purchasing anything from Abbott/Cisco. We get everything from GFS. Of course, we still use United Dairy and we still use Klosterman for our bakery. But by using GFS exclusive, we get a year-end rebate of 3%, 2.5%. And then because we're quick pay, April pays that bill every week, we get another 0.25% rebate. So that amounts to about $3,800 that I get back as a rebate for participating in those programs. We get a lot of produce now that's coming in free from a company called Produce One. It's up by the airport. It's run through the USDA. We can, of my $52,000, I can put so much money into that program. Then I order that stuff. It's delivered every Friday based on what I order. And this year they have allowed, it's unlimited. I don't even have to send commodity money there. So my commodity dollars are still waiting to buy my processed foods. And then we just order produce to be delivered. Equipment, we have replaced 2 double ovens over at the high school. They were many years old, 34 maybe. I think they were part of that original building. So those have both been replaced and up and running, and they're very, very appreciative of that. I'm hoping that before the end of the school year or sometime over the summer, we can also add a double stack oven over at the elementary school. She has a double stack now. Bottom of them has not been working properly, but I think she's got enough room that we can just add a second one and she'll have 3 ovens. We started this year doing the grab and go breakfast. So the kids dropped off back at the middle school, come into the back of the gym, pick up their breakfast and go. So we went from numbers of about 125 to about 275 to 285 on a daily basis. So we're feeding a lot of kids breakfast now. And that, again, is helping for the monies that we have coming in. Back to that National School Lunch Program, a couple of years ago, before COVID, a normal month for us with a lot of days, say March, with 22 days, I may have received $32,000. So I've done my claim for March, and it's $95,000. We're just waiting for that to come in. So, and last month was 72. Maybe that would have been 28. So we're getting money from those kind of things. But breakfast has been, it's been good. We also provide daily snacks for the after school program, and that's reimbursement for us, but it's not a lot of money. It's just the fact that we can do it. We put the stuff out. The gal that's in charge, which is Kay Williamson, that's in charge of the after school program, she takes care of that. She does the tally for me. Somebody over in that kitchen over there keeps all that stuff for me, and we turn that in. And again, we might be making $50 a month on that, but we're providing. I had just kudos to the maintenance department. We had a steamer needed repaired back at the middle school, and it seems like every time we have a repair service in, it's anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to have something repaired. By the time they charge your trip charge and your gas and your parts and your labor, our maintenance people did it in a few hours. They did a D-line process, and it's up and running and beautiful. So we saved some money there. I'm still working on getting a replacement for a cashier position over at the high school. So last month we approved all those subs. So I have several subs that are going to be coming in and training, and hopefully we can get somebody there for that position starting in August. I'm hoping that when I'm back full go after spring break, we can get those people in on a regular basis and talk to some of them and see how they're going to work out.
Do we still have the ability for bus drivers to be in like cashiers and cooks and those things?
Yep, I have 2 of them doing that now. Well, actually I have 4 people, because I have, maybe I have 3. I have Kay, that's cashiering at the elementary. I have Alicia, who's cashiering at the middle school, and I have Brenda Mathias working a 3-hour position at the middle school. So, yeah, the opportunity's there.
Jan, how many total staff members do you supervise?
9.
Nine.
I have 10. Well, 10, because I have one at home. So 10.
That's a full-time job right there. You were doing good until you threw him in there.
Right.
And then the last thing I just wanted to remind everyone that Jennifer reminded me, and I'll tell you about this story sometime. I've updated the wellness policy on the website now, so it is current. All this time I thought I had put it on there because on my end, because we pay $495 for a company out of California to keep the food service part of the website updated with nutritional information and updates. So on the back side of that, on the administration side, I can go in and add menus and do changes, and I updated the wellness policy and I could see it and it looked great. Well, it wasn't. It was the same one that had been there, and Jennifer had reminded me of that. So I called them, I don't know, one day last week, and she said she could see it. So that's all fixed. So that's taken care of, and it's updated and is the current version. Questions?
All right.
Try to keep making money.
Yep. Thank you very much. Item 3, discussion and approval of the minutes. And that takes us to page 7. I'm sure we've all had a chance to kind of look through that. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 14, 2022? I have a motion by Sean Shook, seconded by John Walter, to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on March 14, 2022, as printed above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookbrunner.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Dr. Rowland.
Yes.
Ms. Taylor.
Yes.
Item 4, monthly financials. Turn it over to Ms. Boyer.
All right. Our monthly financial report. On page 4, at the top portion, that's usually when it's comparing one month to the month last year. It's normally a timing issue. Bills get paid at different times, and the revenue obviously comes in at different times. At the bottom, all of the revenue is mainly the tuition, and it's down due to the state doing direct funding now. So used to be when kids were going to school somewhere else, but they lived in our district, the money came to us, then we had to give the money to them. Well, now they're just giving it directly to them, and it doesn't run through us. So that also changes it when we get further. With the expenses too, we no longer show that expense either. So it's a wash, but that's why then the revenue looks different and the expenditures look different compared to last year. And that's also why some of the budgeting didn't quite match up, like with the 5-year forecast and that type of thing this year, because when we did it back in November, we got it ready for November, they still didn't know how they were going to do the funding. So, of course, if they didn't know how they were going to do it, then we couldn't budget for it that way.
So, but what we shouldn't do is look at the first one and think that we have more students leaving Liberty Union than coming.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right, so, like I look down at the year to date in item 2 and see that we've still, like, part of that all other revenue of $579,654 means that I can assume that we are bringing in more kids than we are losing, because that number is pretty high. I mean, it's not what it was last year, but I think you just made a comment as to the ins and outs. Am I thinking through this correctly? Okay, so here's my question. I'll just ask my question. I'll be a straight shooter. My question is, do we have more kids that open enroll to Liberty Union than leave Liberty Union?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure the number, but we do.
Okay. That was my question.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was trying to make that question in a financial way.
I mean, it is.
I mean, it is. At the end of the day, it is. And the reason I said it is because for the month of March, it's a negative number, which in theory would mean that we've got more kids leaving than coming.
But our
But that's not.
expenses, when you look further on, the expenses are down.
Okay,
So that's where
so we should not make that difference.
it's okay.
So I will not make that. Thank you.
So then if you go to page 6, because that page 5 basically is the same thing. It was just, we were unsure of how we were going to be funded, and that's why there's the difference. Page 6, the salaries and benefits are up, and it's for a few reasons. For one, raises. And then moving the wellness money is going back to the general fund, so those expenses came back to the general fund, so that makes that look larger than it was. We also added some new positions too, and then we also paid out those MOUs in February. And page 7, overall, all the expenditures are less, and some expenditures have gone to the ESSER grant, and some, of course, is due to timing too. And page 8 is our interest, and it's gone up slightly, not much, but a little. Page 9, we're at 75% of the year, and our revenue is all 75% or above, and our expenditures are pretty much under the 75%. And we've received all of our real estate, and that's at 101%. And we still have one more income tax coming in the end of this month. And then page 10 is what we have in, we started with beginning balances, and what's the unencumbered balances. And the 400s and 500s, those are our grant funds, and most of those are reimbursing. That's why you've got your negative numbers. And after that, you have our bank reconciliation. And then you have the checks. And on page 3, down towards the bottom, it's reference number 23173, and it's check 98068 to Perry and Associates for $15,900, and that was our audit cost for the regular audit. And that came from the general fund. And then on page 8, down towards the bottom again, it's reference number 23339, check 98189 to KTLB LLC, and that was for $20,871, and that was the balance for the Pennsylvania trip, and that's through the Washington DC trip fund. And then down a little further, reference 23295, check 98194 to Mid-Ohio Utilities for $15,782, and that was boring for electric at the track, and that came from the general fund. And that's all I have with the check. And that's all I've got. No, wait, I've got, okay, do you want me to read all these donations? I will. There's a list. Yes. I can. You want me to run through them all?
I can. That's not a problem. I'll run through them. Are we good with the monthly appropriations? Everything's good there. Yep.
Oh,
Are we at, so we're to the donation part? I just wanted to make sure everything was good with monthly.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, let me run through the donations because it is a laundry list. $250 from Michael and Huberta Johnson to the FFA fund. $150 from Andrew and Rachel Thomas to the high school musical, $499.83 to the Kroger Community Awards, from the Kroger Community Awards, that's to the middle school principal fund, $75 from Olivia and Ryan Westhoven, and that was to the high school musical, $28.91 from the Kroger Community Rewards went to volleyball, $68.64 from Kroger went to the high school yearbook, $200 donation from Medical Day Spa Body Refinery to the FFA, $100 from Dwayne Spence Funeral Home to the FFA, $200 from Buckeye Automotive to the FFA, $300 from Buckeye Floors and More to the FFA, $100 from John and Julie Walter from the FFA, $100 from Progressive Edge Ag Service LLC to the FFA, $100 from Hutton Farms to the FFA, $150 from John and Heather Estep to the FFA, $100 from the Baltimore Car Wash to the FFA, $100 from Boswell Joint Firefighters to the FFA, $200 from H&S Farms to the FFA, $270 in miscellaneous donations to the FFA, $43.24 from the Kroger Community Rewards Program to the high school, and $400 from the U.S. Census Bureau Visa gift card to the high school. So it was quite a month of donations to Liberty Union. Anything else financially that we need to be?
Not for that section.
Okay, awesome. Do I have a motion to approve the monthly financials?
So moved.
Motion by Carol Cato, seconded by Bill Moore, to approve the monthly financial statements as printed above. Ms. Boyer.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
Ms. Cato.
Yes.
And Mr. McCray.
Yes. 5, new business financial. A is permanent appropriation adjustments for fiscal year 2022. Ms. Boyer, is there anything we need to be?
Most of it's just kind of getting everything lined up for the end of the year. Food service brought in more money, which is great, and she needs to spend it. So.
Exactly. All right. B is service providers. There's a few here, so I'll read through them. Sedgwick, January 1st through December 31st, 2023. The service provided is Workers' Compensation Administrative Services. The fee is $960 for the year. Second, the service is VSP. The contract period is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2024. That's vision insurance. Each employee will spend an employee only is $5.10 each. Family cost is $12.33. Standard Life, the contract period is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. This is for life insurance. This is an employee only benefit, and it's at $3.80 per employee. Next service provider is Frontline Technology Group, LLC. This contract period is May 6th, 2022 to May 5th, 2023. This is for applicant tracking, and the fee is $2,435.62. The next service provider is Denise Barte. It's August 1st, 2022 to June 12th, 2023. She's an occupational therapist for Liberty Union students. This is $67.75 per hour as a therapist and $59 an hour as an OT assistant. Next we have Com Resource. The contract period is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. This is for our annual phone license, and that fee is $1,195. We also have Com Resource contract period of July 1st, 2022. It's an intent to purchase new phones for the district. That fee is $10,797.47. I'm assuming because the contract period is one date that this is a one-time cost.
Yes.
Yep, okay. The last one for Com Resource is for their voice over IP. This is July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. The phone service at a rate of $527.72 per month. Lastly, on here is Positive Coaching Alliance. That contract period is February 11th, 2020 to February 11th, 2024. It's for coaches workshops. It was originally approved on February 10th of 2020, but was amended to add another year at no additional cost. That grand total is $11,200. C is approve in lieu of transportation costs for the 2021-2022 school year. This is public information. I'm not going to read all of the names there. You've obviously got that in front of you. But again, if anybody has any questions, that is public information that can be requested through the Liberty Union-Thurston district office. Any other questions or comments? All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by John Walter to approve the items in the new business financial section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Dr. Walter,
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. 6 is new business personnel. A is employment. The name is John Riggins. The position, this is a position change from maintenance/grounds to a custodian. The contract states reassignment at step 3 of the custodian pay scale. This is effective April 1st, 2022. B is summer help. First one is Nick Congrove as a maintenance summer help at a custodial subrate. This is in effect from June 1st through August 12th of 2022. The second person in the same position, rate, and effective date is Cole Pearden. C is to approve the administrators, supervisors, and non-OPSI salary schedules. This is for school years 22 to 23, 23-24, and 24-25. The superintendent and treasurer recommend approval of the revised salary schedule for administrators, supervisors, and non-OPSI, including the percent raise on the base as follows. 22-23 school year at 2.5%, 23-24 school year at 2%, and 24-25 school year at 2%. D is the long-term certified substitution for 1 semester. This is to hire Nick Golden as a long-term substitute for geometry, data science, and algebra 2 at the high school. E is 21-22 supplemental contracts. Eric Smoleski, 6th grade outdoor ed. Jennifer Lavray, 6th grade outdoor ed. Austin McClellan, high school boys track coach for discus. And Melissa Sponseller, high school girls track coach, pole vault certified. McClellan and Sponseller are both volunteer positions. F is resignations. We've got Krista Azeltine retiring as an intervention specialist at the high school. That has an effective date of June 30th, 2022. Next, we have Dorothy Sue Henry resigning from a custodian position at the high school. That effective date is March 31st of 2022. And Debbie Howdyshell going into retirement from our media online position at the high school. That effective date is July 31st, 2022. G is acknowledgement of the letter of resignation prior to the end of the school year. I'll read this. The superintendent recommends that the letter of resignation from James Swedick be received and filed. But because the resignation is effective April 8th, 2022, before the end of his contract for the school year, the district reserves the right to issue a complaint with the Ohio Department of Education's Office of Professional Conduct due to violation of ORC Section 3319.15. Any questions on that or any commentary, Dr. Johnson, for any of those? None? All right. Do I have a motion to approve? So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bill Moore, seconded by Carol Cato to approve items in the new business personnel section. Ms. Boyer.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
Ms. Cato,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Item 7 is new business other. This is for an MOU with OPSI. We will pay a differential to the head nurse. I'll read just the bottom of this. The parties agree to pay the head nurse an additional $2.50 per hour. That is effective beginning April 12th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve new business other?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by Carol Cato to approve items in the new business other section. Ms. Boyer.
Ms. Cato.
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Dr. Walter.
Yes.
All right, other matters as may come before the board. Seeing none, we'll move to item 9, which is an executive session. An executive session is requested by the superintendent. And that will be for E, item E. All right. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Sean Shook, seconded by Bill Moore to go into executive session for the reasons stated above, which was E at 7:51 p.m. Roll call.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shuck?
Yes.
Dr. Walter?
Yes.
Ms. Cato?
Yes.
All right, we are in executive session. Nothing will we will not come out of executive session and vote on anything. We'll be off camera from this point forward. All right, go ahead.
Oh, a team.